Hello, my name is Iman Fouché,
And my name is Danielle Pereira.
and today we're going to be performing a chemical reaction.
Alright, so what exactly is a chemical reaction? So it is a process in which one or more substances, also called reactants, are converted to one or more different substances called products. Now, how does a chemical reaction occur?
Well, I'm glad you asked. A chemical reaction occurs when chemical bonds between atoms are formed or are broken.
Alrighty, so we can view the molecules in our body somewhat as Legos. They're a collection of atoms held together by other atoms. And just as you can connect different colored Legos together, you can do the same exact thing with atoms, which will create different sets of chemical bonds. So each time a new set is created, that is called a chemical reaction. Chemical reactions are made when chemical bonds between atoms are formed or broken. Now, to relate it back to the Lego, if I were to detach a red Lego from a blue Lego, that is a chemical reaction. If I were to attach a green Lego to a pink Lego, that is also a chemical reaction.
Okay, so there are some substances that are called products, and there's some substances that are called reactants. Okay, so reactants are substances that involve a chemical reaction, and then products are substances that are produced. To help identify the direction of the chemical reaction, there are arrows drawn between the reactant and the product.
Okay, so for example, we're going to take the reaction of hydrogen peroxide, which is H2O2, and that is hydrogen peroxide, water, and oxygen. So hydrogen peroxide is the reactant in this example. It gets broken down into water and oxygen, and those are the products. So the atoms which are in the hydrogen peroxide rearrange and form water molecules, H2O, as well as oxygen molecules.
So, in this equation, there is an extra number 2, which involves the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. That's because the 2's in front of both hydrogen and water tell us how each molecule participates in the reaction. The number is also called a coefficient in chemistry. It is important for the coefficient to be added because it helps us make our equation balance. And equations must be balanced as to reflect the law of conservation of matter, which states no atoms are created or destroyed over the course of a normal chemical reaction.
Okay, so let's get to the experiment. So, as stated before, we are doing a chemical reaction, so this is going to be a volcano that we're going to do. To get started with this experiment, we are going to need a few materials first. So, we need a flask with water, we need baking soda, soap, spoons, citric acid, and I believe that's it. Alright, so for this procedure, first you're going to want to fill your flask or bottle with 2/3 of water. We've already done that for you. And add a few drops of dishwashing liquid and about 5 tablespoons of baking soda. So Iman is just demonstrating the procedure. She's putting a few drops of dishwashing liquid in. Then after, she is going to put 5 tablespoons of baking soda in this flask. Okay, so the next step in our procedure is to dilute the citric acid so we have about 5 tablespoons and then about a cup and a half of water. So we're gonna do, for every 5 tablespoons, about this much.
A half cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in the next step of the procedure, it's to stir a mixture in the flask or bottle thoroughly while slowly pouring the glass of citric acid into the flask. So I will pour, and Iman will stir. Okay,
So as a result, we can see that there is foam forming at the top. This is the process of the neutralization reagent. So when interacting with the alkali, which is also known as the baking soda, the citric acid then neutralizes it, which releases carbon dioxide, which makes the mixture foam and forces the mass to flow out of the container, which you can kind of tell. The dishwashing liquid just adds a cool lava effect, which causes the bubbles at the top.
Okay, so now that this experiment is over, we're going to do a little bit of a review. So I'll be asking a few questions, and you guys can answer those questions for me. So the first question is, what is a chemical reaction? All right, yes, that is correct. So a chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances, also called reactants, are converted to one or more different substances called products. So the second question is, what is the coefficient and what does it do? That is correct. Okay, so a coefficient tells us how many of each molecule participate in the reaction. And this number also is called a coefficient in chemistry.
Okay, so what are products and reactants? Good job, yes. So products are substances which are produced, and then reactants are substances which go into a chemical reaction. The next question is, what role do atoms play in a chemical reaction? Correct. During a chemical reaction, atoms gain, lose, or share their electrons with those of the substance which they are reacting to.
Okay, guys, so this wraps up our experiment. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. Thank you so much for watching and participating, and we'll see you guys next time.